Hello everyone, welcome to Modern Math. This is going to be our first lesson of the year. So first we're going to look at decimals and rounding. Okay, so to start off with this, first off, what is a decimal? So if we think about this in regards to for swimming, sometimes it comes down to like the 10th of a second or 100th of a second. Those are decimals. So decimals are going to be part of a whole. So it's just part of a whole number. Okay? So we're going to look at like tenths, hundredths, just something that's not a whole number. So everything to the right of the decimal is going to be a part, and then everything to the left is going to be a whole number. Okay? So first thing with this that we're going to look at with decimals is rounding. Okay? But it's important that we know the decimal place values. It's important that we know if they're asking us to round to the thousandths place, what that is, or if they're asking us to round to the millionths place, what that is. That's a really small number, but first off, we gotta identify what place value we're rounding. So let me erase those two up there. If it's asking me to round to the tenths, then I need to know, all right, I'm looking at the first decimal. And then from there, let me change my color. We look to the right of the number we're rounding, okay? So if this one was asking us to round to the tenths, we were looking at the 1, but now we need to go to the right of it, so we look at the hundredths place. And then if the number to the right of it is 5 or larger, then we need to round up. Or we make the number we're looking at bigger. So we would make that 1, in this instance, a 2. If the number is less than 5, then the number will stay the same. Okay, so for example, if that 7 in the hundredths place was actually like a 2, then we would just leave it as a 1. Let's look at some examples down here. For example 1. So it's wanting us to round 3,225.4963 to the nearest, and it gives us some different values. So to the nearest tenth, for example. So if we look at our steps, number 1, we identify the place value. So rounding to the nearest tenth, looking up here, the tenth is the first decimal place. So we're looking at that one right there. So we can actually start writing down what numbers we're going to need, because everything to the left, so everything over here, those numbers aren't going to change, most likely. So we go 3,225 point, and then now we need to do our second step, and we need to look to the right of the number we're rounding, okay? So we look to the right, so we're looking at the 9. And so since 9 is 5 or bigger, we need to make that 4 big to the next digit. So we need to make it a 5. So if we round this to the tenths place, we're going to have 3,225.5. Okay, let's do some more examples. Change colors, because I like doing different colors. And I'll add, yeah, there we go. Okay. Now we're wanting to round to the nearest whole number, or the way we could think about this is the ones place. So the ones place is right there, the 5, so everything to the left of that is going to stay the same, so 3, 2, 2, and now we look to the right of that, whether we need to make that 5 to a 6 or leave it as it is. And it's a 4, so we leave it as it is. So if we round to the whole number, it's going to be 3,225. Okay? Let's do one more example for you guys. And then what I'll do is I'll leave it to you to do example 2, 3, and then answer example 4. In the next video, I'll show the answers to those so you can check your answers. Okay? But now let's do this last one, round to the 100th place. So the 100th, if we come up here, it says it's the second decimal place. So we're going to be looking at this right here. So now, if we want, we can start writing down numbers. 3225 point, and then we're gonna look at. Then we can leave that there, because if we look at this, we know that that's a 9, and now if we look to the right, we're going to round. So we're going to actually make that 9 bigger, so move it up to a 10. So that's going to become a 0, and then this 4 is going to become a 5. So that's why I said that most likely they're not going to change. But in this case, since it's a 9, it's going to become bigger to a 10 or a 0, and then we make that one a 5. So I'm going to put 0.50. You may be asking, why do I need to put that 0 there when, oh, go away. Okay, why do I need to put that 0 there when it doesn't do anything? That's because the question asks for the hundredths place. And so if we just put a 5 there, we wouldn't be answering the question, but that 0 shows us that we did the right thing. Okay? All right, so please try these next ones. Like I said, in the next video, I'll put the answers so that you can check your work. Awesome.